Hi everyone, it's Gareth here at Eurovision Ireland. I am here and let me just say that I'm very dry for a change. He's laughing already and I've already told him I'm going to give him a grilling because it's payback time. It's get on the camera bus. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with the one and the only Nicky Byrne. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Nicky, I'm actually going to call you Nicholas Byrne because I'm sure that's what you were called when you were bold.
Well, absolutely.
There you go.
Every time. Every time. Nicholas!
So you are bold, okay? Now, let me just say to everybody that this is the first time I've actually brought questions with me for the simple reason that we actually did something this time around. We put out a tweet to everybody saying, #AskNickyByrne. Okay. Kim Kardashian tried to break the internet with her backside. No, you broke the internet with the questions that I got back, okay?
Oh, God.
So my Twitter has been going ping, ping, ping for the past 3 days, okay? So if I look really tired, it's all your fault,
right,
okay?
Some good questions, I hope, though.
They're better than my questions, and I'm really annoyed at that. But I'm going to keep them for like the second half of the interview, okay? So the first part is just sort of me and you.
Okay.
So you were in London. How did that go? And before you answer that, Lisa from my team who you met, she wants to know, is your nipple okay?
Because my nipple's fine. And actually, she, by the way, she didn't do anything inappropriate. She clipped on a nice Irish shamrock. And it was actually this jacket I was wearing. But I wore a different jacket performing. But I have it at home and it's in my little jar right beside my in-ear monitors, ready to take to Stockholm.
Very good. So how did you find that? Was probably the London event was probably your first taste of the Eurovision bubble? Yeah,
it was great. I mean, we've been invited to them all, and obviously with work commitments with 2FM, I couldn't get to any of them. And then the Amsterdam one I could have gotten to, only my sister was. It was her 40th birthday party, and when I saw the dates clashing, I thought, oh God, I just don't think I could have got it over the line with the family, you know, that I was going to nip over to Amsterdam and miss the party. So, but definitely the London one, you know, as soon as we, you know, things were moved and we could definitely get to it, and I loved it, you know. And Café de Paris was where we launched Westlife in 1998 to the media, and when I got there, I couldn't believe the stage. My memory of it back then, we would have done 3 or 4 songs in '98, and I remember the stage being like big. When I got there last night, I mean, the stage was fine, but I was thinking, how did the 4 or 5 of us fit on this stage, you know? But it was great. I mean, I met some great people there last night. I met all the people from Wee Wee Blogs and ESC and all the Eurovision online sites that have been talking about me and the song and different things over the past few weeks and months. It was great to meet them in person. Met loads of people outside, some fans that had travelled over from Spain, from Germany, from everywhere really, and it was great to be a part. I also met some of the artists performing. Beret, I spoke to her and she said to me, I love it. She went, in the sun, love it. And she went, I was a Westlife fan for years. She said she knew all the Westlife songs. Also met the Bulgarian competitor and who else? Iceland, Italy. So it was a really good night. It was great to be a part of it, to be honest. It was a shame I couldn't do more of the events, but hopefully it went well. You know, it was a jam-packed, you know, real good event. People really enjoying themselves. I'm sure you've been at loads of these, but I loved it. It was like a proper gig.
Well, the feedback has been very good, so brilliant. Don't let it go to your head. But see, I'm not letting them away with anything. If I can be very, very, I suppose, honest with you, for me, what I've seen is that, because obviously I was in the audience when you did the premiere on the Ray D'Arcy show, and you sung the song and it was great, and then you went to Ukraine and you sung it there at their national final, and then last night. I've seen, to me it looks as if you're more comfortable with the song performing it live, and it just seems as if last night particularly you enjoyed it so much more. Would I be right or wrong, or is that a wrong assessment?
No, you're 100% right, 100% right. Look, the Ray D'Arcy show was the first time that, well, one, I was going to sing the song live, as in live to people publicly. It was my first time stepping out of Westlife on my own. Everything was live on the night, the backing vocals, everything was live. There was no vocals anywhere, only what we did on. So I think everybody was nervous. I think there was even, I listened back to D'Arcy. When I did D'Arcy, I actually thought it was quite good on the night. I thought, yeah, it'd be a pretty decent performance. In the room, I've heard some footage back from In the Room, which was pretty, you know, which was what you would have heard, which is pretty good. The mix-wise later on, when I listened back to it, I thought, right, and me, there was some certain notes that I probably could have done better. I allowed for nerves a little bit, of course. But I've worked hard, you know, I've worked hard since that. I've worked hard to go. Thankfully, the Ukraine performance came straight away. It was within 6-7 days, I think. And the funny thing is, the Ukraine performance was was to like 10 or 15 million people, and the Darcy performance was like to 600,000 or 700,000. So that didn't bother me. Plus, the Ukraine performance was probably more me and what I always imagined this song to be: big stage, freedom. Go and perform it, a mixture of me channeling my inner Bono, my inner Chris Martin, and getting out there and being the showman that I suppose in Westlife that, I was, let's say. Not making excuses for the Ray Darcy performance. There was some good elements to it. Was it my best performance? Hell no. But certainly we're getting to where we want to be and certainly where we need to be.
Yeah, I can see a definite. You're really enjoying the song now.
Yeah.
That's the main thing which you want, especially coming up to 2 weeks away.
Yeah, of course.
And while we're telling it here, you got an email 2 seconds ago, and I think this is karma. This is karma.
Look at
what
this.
was the email?
This is from RTE, and this is notification of my travel details to Stockholm. There it is, right there. My baggage allowance and everything.
That's just for you.
I need more bags than that.
That's just his hair product, okay?
I'm a jeans.
I've got hair envy, so come on.
I'll drop my phone now.
Oh, God. Okay, can I rewind now to when I suppose the discussion started about Eurovision? You come across to me as, and everybody else I suppose, is that you're a big family man. Did you discuss it with the family at large, and what was their take on it? Was everybody saying, yeah, go for it, or was there some people going, really?
Well, I discussed it with close family. So I didn't discuss it with uncles and aunties, but certainly my wife, my kids, my mum, and Georgina's parents, and my brother and my sister, and that type of stuff. But sometimes sometimes you can see something, you can see a vision that somebody else doesn't share. But they were all very supportive. And Georgina, my wife in particular, was always like, look, because I've done some crazy things, like as in Strictly Come Dancing. I mean, that's, learning how to do, the cha-cha, the tango. And you're dancing close with another woman for all that time. So, I always say, my wife's the most supportive and, most beautiful and supportive woman in the world. And she said to me, look, if you deep down really think you can do this, then go for it, because life is too short, and life is, as the famous saying goes, you're a long time dead, you're not coming back. So I loved Eurovision from the age of Splash when I first saw Johnny Logan win it in 87 or 88. Loved, my sister's 2 years older, and we were spoiled. I'm sure you remember. We were spoiled with Johnny Logan and Linda Martin and Niamh Kavanagh and obviously Emer Quinn and Rock and Roll Kids as well, Paul Harrington, Charlie McGettigan, and we won it every other year, it seemed. And I'm a very patriotic guy and also very competitive. And I was I was a footballer all my life. And at that time, Ireland didn't have anything really to shout about on an international scale until really the World Cups and the soccer and stuff, and the whole country went bananas, But the Eurovision we had, that's what we had. And we haven't had that in so long. Now, I've said it a million times, I'm sure you've heard it. I'm not saying I'm the saviour to bring back the trophy. But wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be just astonishing? I mean, the dream, the vision of winning it, and now I'll get to qualifying in a second because that's the most important, but the dream of winning it with a song you've sung, co-written, was just huge. It was just like that global scale because I'm a fan of the show and because I thought, well, I've done these type of shows, as in this size, scale, tour, stage. I've done that arena a few times. And I think that has to count, to your confidence, to your ability, to your professionalism. And in the meantime, I was writing a solo album anyway. We'd gotten some great songs together. And I started to do the delivering the results for Ireland, which I loved. Like that to me was a huge thing. That was like, I'm standing there as proud as punch, representing Ireland for that 30 seconds to a minute. And while you do that, there's rehearsals involved in that. You're there on the Thursday, again on the Friday, and then obviously on the Saturday. And people would say to me, like the translator in my ear, before they'd come to us, you'd kind of be having small talk. And I remember her saying to me, but you were in Westlife, weren't you? And I was like, yeah. So you're standing there, ready to go. And she was like, and Ireland hadn't qualified at this point because this was the rehearsals for the final. And she was like, well, do you not have a song that maybe could get Ireland? Now, I know she was joking, but then I drove home that night after one of the years and I was going through the Port Tunnel and the girl taking the money from going with the barrier said, "Oh, thank you for giving 12 points to Latvia." And I was like, "Oh, thank you," as if it wasn't my decision. And she said, "Would you not go, Ireland?" So, and then that added together with, even when I was leaving the house that night and the kids staying up to watch it, and they're excited to see Daddy, and my mum wishing me the best, and my mates going, "Oh, we'll be, do a little dance," or everybody asking you to do something crazy for that 30 seconds. And everybody would share the excitement and then the disappointment of not being there. You have it, and I have it. And I'm like, it's not the same when we're not there. Yes, we've this great history, this great pedigree. Yes, we've won it the most. But it's in the past. And we should be on it. We produce great songs, great artists. We should be on a global scale. And for some reason, it's not for anybody doing anything wrong. It's not that RTE don't treat it with respect. I think they do. I just think not enough people put themselves forward. Like, we can't do a Melody Festival because we don't probably have the budgets to do that. And that would be amazing if we could. But if we have some people, like maybe I'm the start of somebody who's had a big career in Westlife, maybe better people than me next year can do it, and better again. And if I can make a dent in getting Ireland somewhere on the map, fantastic. So that brings us to the qualification. I'd be devastated if we don't qualify. Don't get me wrong, I'll pick my head up and I'll get on with it. But generally I would be, because that's the whole thing. When you get to the final, then you can relax and enjoy the party. And who knows after that? Because most of the people, more than me, Gareth, I presume most of the people watching on the night are watching and hearing these songs for the first time. Yes, there's the people on the internet who critique everything for the last few months. But generally, most people, I would imagine you could ask any Irish person right now, they might have heard our song because of the publicity it's gotten here. But if you ask them to name or talk about any other song, they probably haven't heard them yet. So they'll hear them on the night and they'll vote accordingly. So if you're in the final and you're in with that, anything can happen. Like, you do a good performance, you nail a song, you smile, you have fun. Who knows? Who knows where you can get? And once you qualify, then we can enjoy that.
Well, you've just touched on something that I want to get into this interview. The song, the album, and the career, right? So let's just say the song. What was it about Sunlight in particular that when you finished writing it, that you went, okay, this is the one that I would like for Eurovision, as opposed to some of the others that are on the new album? Because I saw, really nice actually, you seemed very proud, just on the thank yous to my new album on Facebook.
Yeah.
Tell me, so what was it about Sunlight and what can I expect from the new album?
Well, first of all, the album, it's 3 years now in the making, and it started by my sister-in-law, Cecilia, the author, saying to me, I've a book that's become a movie called Love Rosie, can you write a song for the soundtrack? Now, I've been in Westlife for 14 years and written and co-written a lot of stuff, but album tracks, we never were lucky enough to write the big singles like Swear It Again or Flying With the Wings or World of Rowan or anything. But the guy who was a part of all of those is Wayne Hector. And Cecilia originally said, I think you and Ronan Hardyman would work great together. Now, I'd met Ronan many times, never worked with him. So we contacted Ronan, was up for the challenge, and said everything would be great. Now, at this point, I'm in limbo land. Westlife had ended, I'd done Strictly. I'm in talks to do TV shows and radio shows, both here and in the UK. And I'm meeting loads of people. And I thought, well, this is a project that I wouldn't have had the chance to do, to write the song for the album soundtrack while I was in Westlife. So I met with Ronan, we flew to London, Wayne was up for it. Wayne loved the idea. The actual original song was called Where Rainbows End, because that was the name of the book. And Wayne is very, loves lyrics and brilliant, and he loved the title Where Rainbows End. So we wrote a song, and the song was called Finishing Line, and that's on the album. And we wrote that, and we hit it off. And I knew Wayne through Westlife over the years, but never co-wrote with him. So we started writing more. So he came over to Dublin, and he came over in August 2013, and he stayed at Ronan's house in Glenageary, and we wrote some songs. And the second song we wrote for the album was Sunlight. And I knew from leaving, and I mean that, this sounds like fate, sounds like fairy tale stuff, but I knew from leaving the house that night, we hadn't recorded it yet, we were singing into our iPads and dictaphones and stuff, writing, scribbling stuff out, changing chords, Ronan, brilliant on the piano, creating all these melodies. I'm now talking about the picturesque side of it, and I'm picturing, I tell you where I was, and I've never been there, which is incredible. I was on the top of a mountain in Ibiza, in my head. And I've never been to Ibiza, right? So I imagine what it must be like. And you're standing there as the sun is rising the next morning, and all these people are kind of, all over, straggled on the ground from the night before, and you know, and they're maybe feeling the fear or thinking, oh, what does this new day bring? And this positivity comes through the sun, and it's like, who cares what people say about you? Who cares what he or she is doing, wants to do, once it's legal, of course. And so it's like, you know, dance like you mean it, sing like you feel it, all that type of stuff. And it just came and it evolved. And basically the positive, I mean, essentially it's a love song, but the positive meaning is, you know, every day brings a new start. So whatever's gone on the day before, you know, there's always a new sun the next day, and that positive meaning. So that, together now with, I felt a really hooky chorus, because there's a double chorus in there. There's 2 hooks in the chorus. So when Skip On, now we recorded it, we had it in the bag, it was part of the album, and then bring in Eurovision, me doing the votes, not all that disappointment of not qualifying. And I sat there and I thought, when we didn't qualify last year with Molly, and I had Molly on my radio show, and she's absolutely lovely and a great singer, you know, and brilliant on the piano. Probably too young, too inexperienced, you know, and I thought, I need to say this to RT, because I knew RT wanted to do well. I could feel it, but what do we do? You know, and I thought, right, well, maybe I go to them and I say, I have this, here's the background, you know, I'm not bullshitting, this is the people who've written the song with me. What do you think? So I did it. I grabbed the bull by the horns and went for it and went, here's what I think. It might sound crazy, see what you think. And they all said, right, well, leave it with us and we'll listen to the song. So, and I think this is important. I wasn't chosen because I was across the green in 2FM. You know, and when I'm on there on the night, I'm not wearing a 2FM logo or an orange flag at 2FM. Well, now it's black and yellow and stuff. It's a tricolour. It's Ireland. It's a national. It's everything I've ever wanted to do. It's my patriotism coming out. And I felt we had a good shot.
That's a good link into what I'm going to do now, because as I was saying to you at the beginning, I've asked all your fans who love you and they love your patriotism, and quite a lot of questions are centered around that. Okay. And actually they've come up with better questions than me, so I'm really not happy with this, okay, everybody? So I'm going to quick fire them at you, okay? And you just say quick answers to me, okay? Now, the first one was from Team Byrne, Mexico. Great hashtag, okay? What song from your debut album are you most excited for the fans to hear? And if you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self?
Okay.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. Okay, song-wise, I mean, everyone's heard Sunlight. The song is very, I would say, pop rock. So it's very personality driven, the album, should I say. So it's like Robbie Williams meets Ollie Moore's meets me. If you've ever listened to the radio show, you've been on it. Yes. It is all that into it. It is me sitting there with Wayne Hector and Don Mescal, the Irish songwriter as well, and Ronan Hardiman going, what about this? What about this? Picture us here, do this, do that. And then the lyrics are flying, the melodies are flying. There's a song on there called Explosion, which is written by myself, Ronan, and Don Mescal, Irish songwriter as well. Great track. And I don't think anybody is going to expect it. And I think it's very anthemic, it's quite cinematic. Nearly could be like a Bond theme tune type thing. It's track number 2 on the album, and I think people love it.
What advice would you give your younger self?
There's plenty of outfits that I wore in Westlife that I probably would have said to myself, now listen, forget the Diamante Cumberband, let that go, that I wore at MTV 1999. I suppose there was the first few years of Westlife, we were you know, riding that wave and loving it. But I suppose now that it's gone 14 years later, you would have said, even enjoy it even more, you know. And I looked many years later when One Direction broke. I knew they were coming because just as we were ending, Psycho Records, who we were signed to Simon and stuff, had already put 1D together. And there was probably some of the reason why we bowed out at that point as well, because like an old boxer, we didn't have that fight left in us. And we'd had our time, and then 1D just went bananas. And you know, there's a part of you, and I'm sure it was the same for Boys On and Take That at the time, you think you're the one that's going to be different. You think you're that band that no one can ever outdo or all that type of stuff, but you're not, you know what I mean? And you know, there's, I think Take That wrote about it in many of their songs as well. Like certainly Gary Barlow did. That time in Take That, first time around for those guys, was amazing. But it came and went, and next fall they saw Boyzone, then they saw Westlife go, it was even bigger. And then one day took over the world, and so yeah, I looked at them, and do you know what? I wasn't one bit jealous. I mean that. I watched it I watched them come from X Factor, from the luxury of my own home with my own kids, enjoying X Factor as a punter, and it just went banana. And these young kids, because I'd done it, you look at them and you go, they have no idea what's about to happen. All good, of course. People turning up to your mother and father's house and robbing flowers and taking grass and rose petals and keeping it in cellophane and books. People throwing tampons into cards, in Australia and Argentina. Chaos. People having to get out of a bus on top of a roof, because you're surrounded by 10,000 people in Argentina. Same in Indonesia, the Philippines. Just the best experience that 19, 20, 22, 23-year-old guys could have possibly had, and like so lucky, so blessed that I was part of those weird days, And now that you're a man and you're married and you've kids and you're bringing kids to football training, and you drive along and you think, yeah, I enjoyed every bit of it. Like no regret ending it though, because we did 14 years. So all of those things, I'm sorry, I'm a bit long-winded answer, but enjoy life at that point even more if you can, sure. and have fun.
Okay, I'm going to curtail you to one-word answers.
Okay, sorry, I apologize. Was that
no, because all these great people have written down to you.
Okay, one-word answer.
Right. Okay, Nicola, and she's got a great Twitter handle. It's kiss hug Nicola kiss hug. So
okay.
Hi Nicola.
Hi Nicola.
What is the most exciting thing for you about doing Eurovision?
Representing Ireland.
Good. Anna from Poland. Who will be with you in the green room?
Well, the truth is I don't know. I presume it's Team Ireland, the people on stage with me, which at the moment, I'll give you the names. It's Ian, it's Paul, Jay, who else then? The girls is Janet and Jennifer. And Raina will be there, of course. Michael Keeley will be there, the whole Irish delegation. I think Sharon will be popping out. So yeah, and then a tour manager who tour managed me in Westlife for years, Jake Duncan. Also Greg French, who was over there with Molly last year. Yeah, so a few techie people that's needed. And then I can't wait to hook up with Marty Whelan and the commentary crew as well.
Super fast.
Of course, and so it'll be fun.
Now I have Francesca from Italy. What were and what now are your expectations of Eurovision? Have they changed?
They haven't changed. I mean, the closer it gets, the more nerve-wracking it is, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. So I just, they haven't changed, but certainly, I suppose the job at hand is great. It's bigger than, I always knew it was enormous, but it's bigger than expected. I mean, I know this is one-word answers, but I got off the plane last night from London and I waited for Greg, was behind me three rows back. And while I was waiting for Greg in the terminal to get off the plane, there was 6 or 7 people past me, 3 or 4 of them, who all strangers, passed me. I went, good luck in Eurovision. Someone else goes, I'm having a Eurovision party, don't let me down. Next person who's buying goes, we're rooting on you, give it welly. So the support has been incredible. But when they all pass, I'm sitting there going, oh Jesus, so there is that part of it as well. But I'm not going to lie, the responsibility of hoping to qualify, and if we do, the fact that we're in the mix then, that people control their parties, people have fun, the kids can wave the flags, all that type of stuff, that's what it's about. And if we're not there, it's disappointing.
Well, you can give us 2 parties, the semi-final and the final. Yeah. Now, here's one from, and I love her name, Hema_Burns Army.
Oh,
love it.
I have an army somewhere.
You have an army. Do you have any rituals before you go on stage? And this is a good question because Man Zermelo, who won last year, his ritual that he told us in an interview was, he says, I always check my zipper before I go on stage.
I think I remember reading that, he said that actually. I would probably do that anyway, I would check that, but I always, a couple of things, I'll tap my wedding ring like that off either the side of the stage or the airplane getting on at Dublin or wherever I'm getting on, do that. And for something like this, I'll have a little stone from my dad's grave in my pocket. So the little pebbles that are on graves, I'll have one of them in my pocket somewhere. I don't know which pocket, and I don't even know what I'm wearing yet, but it'll be there on me. And I suppose that moment of just before you're about to do it, you do have that kind of inner moment where it's just you and nobody else. The green or the red light goes, and you do have that moment going, Jesus, where's the emergency exit? Can I run away? And then you go, no, okay, let's do this. And you have to just control that and go, come on, Ireland.
At least you know when the red light goes that's I'm on now.
Yeah. Are you saying some people don't?
Some people don't. Okay, from Linny Pinney. Hi, Linny Pinney. What is your favourite Eurovision song from previous years besides Irish ones?
There's so many. Loreen, Euphoria is incredible. I love the song that came third or fourth from a Danish band called Friend in London. Come on, boys, come on. Oh, what a great song. Probably should have won it, actually. I don't know who won that. Was that you? Was that right, okay. Great song. I mean, last year was a great song, you know. I think Mans was brilliant. I think his staging was phenomenal. I think what really impressed me about him was he had that down to a T. Is that because he's ultra professional? Probably, but also because he did it so many times, you know, in rehearsals, in Melody Festival, and all those things. Great idea, great song, great artist, great winner. Yeah, so but there's been quite a few. Gina G back in the day, you can't forget, brilliant song. I mean, even as far as back as Bucks Fizz and ABBA. I mean,
you know your Eurovision, which is really good.
I'm a fan, Gareth. I'm a fan. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. There was a time when Westlife were ultra busy, when I would have lost touch with an awful lot of it, and we would have tried to, when it was on, wherever we were, to see a bit of it or something. So there was probably 10 years in the middle that I missed. But Eurovision fan, and have represented Ireland now, which is incredible. Forever, I can say that.
You'll be part of the alumni, you will be. Next one is Crazy for the Burn. I love these Twitter names. How many people besides the crew, Team Ireland, are you bringing, like friends and family? And will there be party time?
Well, there's about 11 of us separate to Team Ireland, my family coming over. So party time, like, not before it, no. For me, they'll party, of course, but and you'll party and everyone else will party. I think, like, don't get me wrong, I want to enjoy this. I don't want this moment to pass that, it comes and go and I go, well, I was so stressed or so under pressure that I didn't enjoy it. I think I'm old enough now and experienced enough to go, yes, it's pressurised, but yes, enjoy it. And that doesn't mean having, loads of drinks and beer. I think certainly after the final, I will let my hair down and I will drink, and that's even if I don't qualify. That's the time. Or if we don't qualify in the semis, then that's the time to have a laugh. But I know there's a lot of immediate obligations. I know there's a lot of which I enjoy, and I know we'll be visiting a lot of Irish sites and different things over there. So with all that taken on board, I don't think there's a lot of time to. There is time to party at night time. It won't be from me just yet. I think there's a job to do. Like, I mean, yes, it's amazing, but there's a job to do. I'm going out there with a bit of a sporting mentality, that I want. I want to do the best I can. And if I'm drinking 6 nights a week, well, I get that you won't be able to. That's for all you guys to do. And hopefully on the if we qualify after the final, we'll do it.
I'll have a few pints for you. Okay. Binny from Australia says, who do you think your rivals are at this year's Eurovision? And you can't say to me, the other 42.
No. Well, I think everyone's a rival, but I think the songs that have stood out to me, Malta, I like. Spain, I think is probably my favourite. Who else? I haven't heard the Russian song, but I know he's a big pop star from Russia. He's obviously going to bring experience and quality and all of that. Who else? I liked the Belgian song actually when I first heard it, but it seems to have not been getting a great response back for some reason. But then again, can you listen to Twitter trolls and stuff like that? I mean, Sunlight got a great response at the start, and then when everything else was announced, everyone was going, well, we're bored of Sunlight now. But like that, it's if you get to the final, it can be anybody's. It's about the song and the night and the performance and the voting. And Sweden have a great song, as always, by the way. So so it's going to be good. If I had to pick one favourite at the moment, probably Spain.
Barry, you better be making sure you're telling everybody in Spain to vote for Nicky now. Okay?
Well, she said she was a Westlife fan, so she
has to. Now, and this will be the last one for you. Okay, from a lovely name actually, Sudeepa Sharman. How has participating in Eurovision pushed you as an artist?
It's absolutely pushed me as a singer, because I mean I was a singer all my life, but there's a huge difference in doing backing vocals, even live, versus doing lead vocals, and like it's not that I hadn't done lead vocals. I've done them all the time in tours, and I've done them on albums and different things. But stepping up there on your own and delivering, you push yourself. The Eurovision Song Contest is a song contest. There's plenty of big stars out there. I don't want to mention them because I don't want to look like I'm critiquing them. But I've heard people's vocals on some, world stars, and there's probably better singers in the Eurovision. So, and that's the show. That's how big as it is. It's like a bit like X Factor. Some of the people who are doing, who are a painter and decorator by trade, have got some of the best voices, in the world. They just haven't got the breaks. They just haven't been lucky. So certainly with me, it's a song that I've co-written, so am I going to go out and be singing Mariah Carey songs? Hell no. Can I deliver Sunlight and the stage performance? Hell yes. Am I going to give it everything I have? You can count, you can, goddamn right I am.
You just mentioned Mariah Carey there. Obviously you did the song with Mariah Carey. Okay, I need to fangirl a bit. She's my number one favourite singer. Yeah. What's she like?
Gorgeous, brilliant, lovely. She was brilliant, so professional. I mean, she's a diva. I've some great funny stories where we'd be sitting around like this chatting and having lunch and stuff, and somebody would come over and kind of feed her the Coca-Cola with the straw. But the great thing about Mariah was she knew it. She'd look at us and almost laugh. But that's what a diva is all about, and listen, unquestionable talent. And we had some great times recording the song. We were out in Capri. She rented this amazing studio with chefs, and we arrived over. We're like 5 lads from Ireland, and we walked up these amazing steps up to this villa in Capri with a recording studio. We arrived, and Mariah floats in this white dress, and we're all like, remember we're 21-year-old lads, and Mariah's there, and she offers us oysters and champagne. And there was that moment, and our little dogs are running around, and there was that moment you're going, I'm from Baldoyle in North Dublin. This is pretty cool. And then we went in to record the song, and we were doing a cover of a Phil Collins song. And you're in the studio and you're doing backing vocals. And I always remember of doing a couple of takes, and Mariah, pushes the fader up or hits the button, she'll say, and goes, hey Nicky, can you give me that one more time? And you're thinking, I'm from Baldoyle in North Dublin, and this is Mariah Carey. So, some great times. And then we performed at the top of the Pops Awards, and Mariah, we went to see her in concert in Wembley one time. Myself and Mark went along, and it was we went backstage to see her afterwards, and did the whole "My Irish boys," and she gives us the hugs. And then another funny story real quickly was her dressing room was obviously decked out beautifully, and there's all these very expensive bottles of champagne and wine. And Mariah looks over at one point and says, Nicky, would you mind opening another bottle of wine? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I took out the bottle of wine and, opening the wine, and I corked the bottle. I was like, now I don't know how much the wine was, but I knew I'd corked it, but I hadn't fully snapped it. So I kind of got to there and put it down and went, oh God, what am I going to do? So I thought about it for a minute, quick thinking. I went, Mark hadn't seen this. So I went, Mark, I said, I can't twist it. Can you get that? so Mark goes, now, Mark, like you, is the biggest Mariah fan in the world. This is like his hero. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, what am I going to do? And I went, Mark, have you just corked that wine? But we got away with it. We just opened another bottle and left it behind the back somewhere.
Cheeky Mary. That'll come back to bite you, trust me. Now, I'm going to let you finish off this interview. We're supposed to only have 20 minutes, and we've had over half an hour.
Oh, who's counting?
I know. Well, you've other things to go to, you've got a family to look after, so, So I want you to remind everybody, okay, so what date is your semi-final?
So semi-final is the 12th, which is a Thursday night, 12th of May. There's 19 countries in there, 10 qualify.
Your song number?
We're song number 7, Sunlight. Please pick up the phone and vote. That would be amazing. For Ireland to get back to the final of Eurovision would be amazing. It really would. Not just for me, but I think for the country would be incredible. And we'll give it a right good go. We'll give it a right good go and have a party. And if we ever won it, I mean, can you imagine what Dublin or Cork or wherever it would be, Belfast, if we got it back to Ireland for the first time in 21 years, that would be amazing.
Would you host?
Oh, you'd be the first there? Yeah, I'm sure there'd be plenty of people looking to host it, but yeah, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? That'd be incredible.
Hell yeah. I usually do quite a lot of talking in the interviews. This is the first interview, everybody, that I've done where I've hardly said anything. I've just let you talk.
I have more to say.
I know you do, and we can stay here the whole day. And you know I like to talk from being on the radio show and everything. Nicky Byrne, or Nicholas Byrne, it was an absolute pleasure. My seat is completely dry.
We'll be checking that afterwards.
We'll be checking it afterwards. I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you're going to have a whale of a time, whatever you do, win, lose or draw. It is so refreshing to have somebody who actually knows the Eurovision, loves the Eurovision, and I think you're going to do us proud. So
I will do my best, I promise.
Song number 7.
Sunlight.
Semi-final 2. Thursday, March the 12th. If you like it, give me a call.
Thanks, Ger. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.